evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday. I hope you're all doing well. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I hope you're all doing fantastically, absolutely fantastically out there. Well, man, that's really disconcerting. As I came on, the people watching like dropped to 2. I was like, really? It's my face repulsed people. Like, oh no, why? That's so strange. Okay, listen, mate. Everyone's allowed to make their own decisions. What can I tell you? I have had a fun time, and we have a lot to talk about. I have a lot been going on in the old brain box there that I think we need to discuss. Discuss and delve into, and there is much news, of course. For me, this is a brave new world. I was offline 25 hours. Sadly, our guest. If you're with us last stream, there was a gentleman on Twitter who was offended at my rather lustful take on the young Millie Gibson. I think fair enough. But, I don't know. I'm being reasonably playful. Let me pull up some thumbnails, and hopefully I can don't lose all the blood from my head. There we go. I just opened them all. That's all. They're all just opening. Okay. I'm not being. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not being choosy. Oh no. No, I got two of my shorts opened as well. Nah! Press the wrong button. There you go. I'll tell you. Tonight's thumbnail, I laboured long and hard to find a good reason to put Millie Gibson in a schoolgirl uniform. I worked hard to come up with, and then it's finding the right schoolgirl uniform, right? That was hard, right? That was hard. I eventually, after much review, much painstaking review, I was bored stiff many times. I went on this very deliberately porny fake girl, schoolgirl outfit. I think because the more real you got, she's only a couple of years out from schoolgirl uniform, right? Like as a day-to-day. So that's a bit creepy, right? Listen, there's a big difference between somebody who is, legally of age, dressing as a slutty schoolgirl, right? And having sex with somebody underage. That's bad, okay? One is bad and you shouldn't do that, right? Under any circumstances. It's like, I'll give you an example. You shouldn't wipe your bottom on anybody's pillow, right? You shouldn't do that. Even if you say surprise. Nobody likes it. No one's up for it, right? No one's happy, right? No one's happy. But, what do you notice about Millie Gibson first, other than she's insanely hot? Honestly, I think Millie and Shooty, they're going to be like the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane. I think they're going to be iconic, right? I think they're going to be so freaking iconic. More than we can. Really, this is the stamp of what Doctor Who's going to be for a generation. You're going to have this strange vision, very physical, somewhat flirty, but not. Insanely warm and charismatic Doctor, right? That's what I get from Shooty, who's also bonkers, right? I get a lot of the Tom Bakers about him, right? I really think, look, maybe I'm just being an optimist, but oh man, I think they have everything to be insanely good, right? They really do. So honestly, if anybody think, one time I was talking about Don Martin. No, not Don. Yeah, I used Don Martin on a thumb and he got pissed off because I wanted to do alternate Doctors. And he had this really cool him in a Sixth Doctor, right? And so he was concerned that I was taking the piss. I'm like, no, you looked awesome. So I'm not this isn't me saying, and I don't know how you come to, you've got to be very prejudicial, right? And he's swims in very prejudicial waters. He's being successful. God bless him. I wish him every success. But, the Twitter weirdos, although Twitter's getting so much more normal. I'm seeing the weirdo accounts get banned and normal people coming back. Right? It's like, Mad. It's really weird, right? It's really weird. So anyway, yeah, as an example of that, this insanity, this guy on Twitter was really upset that I was sexualizing Billy Gibson, who was clearly very sexual, right? Yeah, it's like, hello. And what was really going on is he was turned on and he felt bad that he was turned on. It was mad at me for making him feel bad that he was turned on, right? That's what, oh, God, people are so fucking pathetic. I mean, they really are. Oh, so he says, oh, as I said, look, just come up my channel. I'll start speaking with you. I know he wasn't gonna, right? He was not under any circumstances gonna do it. He said, yes, of course I will do that. Yes. I'm like, no, you won't. You're full of shit, right? And so, yeah, that's essentially what happened, right? After bagging on and on and on and on and on, I like eventually said, I called the bluff here. Let me show you the screen. Oh, this guy's an asshole. Yeah, we'll just show you this. Yeah, let's get this over with early because it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. I don't know. Anyway, he's not coming on, but that's the basic plan. Here we go. Doink, doink. Here we go. Doink. Fine. Where am I? There you go. Fine. So this was my thumb. I put Jodie in her outfit. Hey, you thought this outfit will super double legitimize me as a doctor, won't it? Well, you might get an action figure out of it. And that's basically it, right? I mean, okay, people are buying it because it's the only way you can have a Jodie Whittaker figure, basically, right? It's like a novelty figure. It's like the Union Jack Dalek, right? Fine, okay, take it. It's like whatever. It was the best your Doctor Who ever was, that it was never Doctor Who. By the way, I'm very proud of the roundels I put in the background. I labeled long on that. So this guy, he's oh God, he's such a pussy. I'm confused by the thumbnail. Firstly, hated that outfit. The only reason you had it on because the master was trying to impersonate her. So crediting the outfit to her want the Doctor to be very misinformed. Also, you still are avoiding DMing me. I would hate to think you are avoiding it. Okay, and I wasn't avoiding it. I told him I'm going to contact you on Saturday. Oh God! I mean, it was just all so bloody obvious this is going to happen. So, dude, to get a joke, you have to have a sense of humor, which weirdo zealots such as yourself and the Taliban so rarely do. I told you 3 times now, I'll get in contact on Saturday. Why would I avoid you? Do you honestly think you represent any form of challenge to me? You don't! It's going to be good entertainment, ding-a-ling. Like, this is good for me because it's bad for you. I go on and say, and then I clip out the bit that I spoke about him in our last stream. I did a preview on I did preview your appearance on my stream last night, and it was hilarious. Listen, if I say so myself, I think I'm funny. Okay, I do. What do you want out of me? That's just the truth, mate. Spoke about you for some time. Yeah, again, check it out, and thank you for the material. And again, I'll contact you on Saturday 26, 2022. Okay. How am I supposed to prepare or discuss with you if we don't pre-prepare? What the fuck? What are we preparing? This isn't... We're not naked and wrestling in oil, you weird fucking pervert, okay? No. There's nothing to fucking prepare. Fuck yeah, like they have to pre-prepare. What the fuck? What are you preparing? Are you swimming the channel? No, you're coming on some fat prick's YouTube channel. I'm like, what the fuck are you preparing? I have to make sure I have no, just speak what you think. You idiot cunt. Oh God, I love being demonetized. This is the only time I use bad languages on the stream. I think I need it. We live in trying times. So what do you want me to tell you? Anyway, how am I supposed to prepare? There's nothing to prepare. I send you a link, click it, and you go onto stream like a Zoom meeting. Very simple. All you do then is talk and try to substantiate your ridiculous and infidel point of view. So DM me or email Lebetkin@gmail.com. There you go, and I'll send you a link. Oh, holy fuck! I gotta do this. Oh, holy fuck! We need to discuss talking points, time frames, and further matters. No, fuck you. Come and ask me anything you want, you uptight cunt. I will send you an email. No, you fucking won't. But not even knowing what time this is makes it hard to plan around. Oh, heaven to Betsy. As I told you many times, you lying cunt. I stream 5 p.m. UK. I don't know. What does that mean? It means 5 p.m. UK. Talking points are you asking me questions, asking me any questions you have, and substantiating the premises you formed them on. Dude, you know you're squirming to get out of it. I know you're squirming to get out of it. Everyone reading it knows who you can. Oh, he just replied. Look at this. Yeah, not tell me many times. Yeah, go read the thread, you ignorant cunt. Okay. The only reason I agreed was because I wanted to reasonably respond to your friends who barely turned 18 into the giving as a 50-year-old man, but not even being reasonable. We need to set it up. Let's reply right now. Let's caps locks. It's set up. Live now. Waiting for you. But I think you're a pussy. There we go. Will that get me in trouble on Twitter? I don't know. What's Twitter like now? Better not. Damn, see, this is what I thought. But this is what Elon Musk likes? I don't know. Oh, I have to back down. I have to go there. But I think you're a... but don't think you're up for it. Fine. Luck. Oh, man. Give you another month or so. Don't think you're up for it. Really? Don't think you're up for it. Okay. Plonk. Fine, that's that job. Okay. He's not coming. Okay. He's not coming. I hope you saw all that. There you go. There you go. So anyway, I guess isn't showing up. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. Who gives a shit? Anyway, shooting Millie. Honestly, I think she's going to be huge. Again, if she can be super relatable, right? Which she's going to be. She just had a haircut. We'll look at the story, right? She's going to be super relatable to a demographic that in 10 years will control the world, right? I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. In 20 years, they'll own the world. That's the way it is. That's why China's winning this cultural war, because they thought 20 years ahead. They're winning because they deserve to win. I mean, that's the harsh truth. They're winning because they deserve to win. Because they just thought ahead, right? They just thought ahead. That's just the way it was, right? But yeah. This is basically, I think Rusty Dave was doing the same thing. Anyway, I think she's going to be look, if she can act, right, and she's relatable, and people like her because she's a likable character in a thing that everybody watches and is super cool, right? Then 10 years, and she can scrub up to be insanely hot, right? Which she can. What do you want me to tell you? I think her future might be somewhat golden, right? I mean, I think it's going to be huge. I think Doctor Who's going to be huger than ever. I really do. And there you go. Like, gonna put her. So those are her real boobs. I want everybody to know. I haven't photoshopped her boobs. Okay. I know the thing I like about David Tennant with the as a schoolmaster with a cane just seems like the sort of thing he would enjoy. I know. Listen, I like David. I like Rusty Davis. I like Rusty Davis a lot. Rusty Davis as a schoolmaster. Yeah, I like that. And you know what? I think this needs to be our rallying cry right now. Right in the age of shooting, the new age of shooting. Let's make fandom fun again, motherfucker. I mean, come on. Let's make fandom fun again. Listen. I hear the neurotics of the world, right? It's like not like their argument doesn't make sense, and it's mainly the Americans, I think, right? It's not like their argument doesn't make sense. We've danced this dance before. Oh no, Disney gets their hands on a property. It goes to shit, right? And they get Cassie has been Finney, and it's going to shit, right? We've danced this dance before, right? I just think, crazily enough, this time it's going to be different. Like a battered fucking wife. I think this time he'll be nice to me. No, I really do. I think, you know what? It's easy to look at things in generalizations, but how things really happen, I think Rusty Davis would, in fact, agree with me on this. How things really happen is by people making decisions, individual people making decisions. And individual people are a massive combination of things, right? And that's how the decisions get made. Now, there have been like they were all driven crazy by Trump and Brexit. They were, I mean, legitimately so. They were all like, right, and we see it play out for the last 5 years in media, right? I mean, they had no thought in their head. And look, Chris Chibnall, I mean, I just don't know what he was doing, right? I don't know what he was doing taking the job. I think he tried not to take it, but I don't know what he was doing, right? Really, it worked out very badly. Right, I tell you, it worked out very, very badly. Right, a lot of times, like Star Trek Discovery, it's worked out very, very badly. I just think the stars are aligning at this time to work out very, very well. Right, and you can look at it from two ways. I prefer to be an optimist. Honestly, I think if you're looking at the actual hard evidence rather than it always goes down badly, then it's more likely the way I see it. Right, I that's my point of view on it. Right, if you're looking at the actual what's happening, like the more I see shooting, right, the more confident I get in him, right? Yeah, I'm saying that as an old school fan. Old school being our go-to thing for this show. Like I was just before we came on, I was listening to Downstream, Spacebook, right? A great channel, by the way. Here, want to promote two channels. Where is it? Doink. Chrome tab. Is it this channel? Yeah, this is a good little channel. Oh no, that's not it. Hang on, that's the back page for this. So it remove. Let's try that again. There we go. That channel's a good channel, of course. Don't get me wrong. There you go. This is the guy. Roman of the Empire. He's only got 200 subscribers. Here, I'll go and put his. I'll put his link in the chat. I keep seeing him on Twitter, right? And he's quite good on the old twats, and he's always doing interesting content. And was it PJ Maybe is got a stream on tonight as well. I'll try and promote that. 1 second. Where was it? Hang on. I gotta find it on Twitter. Wait a minute. There we go. Hang on. Here's a link. So the stream on later tonight, which looks quite good. It's PJ Mayber's channel, nearly at 500 subs. Okay, listen. My advice to YouTubers right now, right? Here. Here's this. Here's the stream. My advice to all YouTubers right now: make YouTube shorts. YouTube increases your reach the more that when you make shorts, right? It's done very good for me. Make YouTube, and also I'm enjoying the content, right? It's like once you get into the rhythm, you know what you're doing, right? So here, that's his channel. Let's talk geeky. PJ maybe starts in 2 hours. Okay, I'll be asleep. Okay, don't wake me up. Okay, fine. Man, I'm 20 minutes in. I haven't even started yet. Let me get to all my stuff. Down. Okay, fine. So we have to talk about this. Is very important. We just had Sabbath Thanksgiving, right? Sabbath Thanksgiving, big bloody deal. Now, if you don't know, I go offline on Friday nights for the Jewish Sabbath, right? So what happens is, yeah, I used to go to shul. I don't do that anymore, right? It was cold, it was miserable. I'm like, it's raining. No, I'm staying home, right? I'm staying home. I'm wearing my pajamas. I'm basically wearing my comfy Jimmy Jams. Got my slippers on. I got my beer on the sideboard here. Let mother sort it out when they come around here. It was very nice. Anyway, but my wife likes to make a real Thanksgiving meal, and we had a bunch of people over. So I just wanted to show it off. This is the table set. This is just before Sabbath, right? Yeah. We got we had a ton of people coming. I think we had quite a good Thanksgiving theme going on. That's all the Sabbath stuff. See, the first thing you do when you're on the Friday night meal, actually on the daytime meal, is you make a blessing over wine, or in my case, grape juice, and everybody gets a bit. And then, before that, everybody washes their hands ritually. Then you sit down. Then it's a blessing over wine. Then it's blessing over the bread. And the bread was off the freaking charts this week. It's called the challah, right? Off the freaking charts. Oh, my God. So good. Like, so good. It was crazily good, right? Oh, well, my wife goes the whole hog. The whole, hog. We don't have a hog. We have the turkey. Good freaking bird. Oh, man. Yeah, this was coming out of the oven. Well, we keep it traditional with the Jewish chicken soup. That is not a giant turd in it, okay? Some giant orange turd. That is, in fact, a sweet potato. It's essentially a chicken and vegetable soup. Those round things are called matzah balls, and they are very good. They're very good indeed. This is a challah before it was made. It was awesome. Now, my wife's very Thanksgiving-y. She's American, so she went for a lot of pies, right? We got a lot of pies. We had an interesting take on pecan pie. The pecans were crushed. I think I prefer them whole. Didn't want to belabor the point. I thought that'd be a bit of a dick. The pumpkin pie, off the freaking chart. Oh, my God. That was awesome, awesome. But the apple pie, oh, my God. Man, that was good. It was, just the perfect balance of flavors, right? We had cornbread, of course. Sweet potatoes. Also, we had these little squashes, like cut in half with little marshmallows in them. Oh my God, they were good. Stuffing, of course. What else? And then for lunch, we went Tex-Mex. My wife made this huge chili. Oh, so I have eaten well, ladies and gentlemen. Let me assure you, I am well rested. Although I'm just like, I can't understand how much my kids don't move, right? It's beyond my imagination, right? My daughter, God bless her, basically, she's been in customer service, and so she's been like, since she's come back, she's been working on a cruise, essentially in customer service, and since she's come back, she's been a bit switched off emotionally, shall we say, right? And it's been a bit of a massive pain in the ass to be around. Oh my God, it's like having an uptight Wednesday Addams who just sleeps all the time on the couch in front of you, right? It's not fun and it's not funny, right? But I think it's wearing out now. Thank God. Maybe another month or so. Who knows? Or just a dream, right? I don't know. So that But we have friends over who bought cocktails, and I did pass out. I can't drink. I'm an old man, right? I'm an old man. Fine. Let's look at some eye candy. I'll get to the chat, right? There we go. Share screen. Share screen. There you go. Oh, Miller's back. Thank God. Oh, everything's right in the world. So we've got follow me on Instagram, okay? This is the Instagram version of that. I do like doing the Instagrams, right? I'm quite enjoying that. Yesterday's video was about all the news. Star Cops review, yeah, not bad. It's like kind of bland. I think I'm done. I don't think it hadn't convinced me I need any more Star Cops, right? This is coming out after this stream. Peter Capaldi's, if you haven't seen it, it's really good, right? Peter Capaldi's awesome acceptance speech for his outstanding contribution BAFTA. It's very, very, very good, right? It's very good. Tomorrow, of course, we navel gaze into the wonderful Millie. Oh, let me gaze more into your navel, darling. I'm joking. Oh my God. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a story essentially about this, right? The new companion Millie Gibson was making my knickers too tight. And I don't understand. This is who they are. Oh, God, she's so hot. You should see me when I really glam up. I don't. No, I shouldn't. Oh, God, stop. Be still my beating heart, darling. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, Shield Media's agonized and confused reaction to new Doctor Who companion Millie Gibson. It's fascinating. Soy Boy's collapse, right? It's fascinating. If you didn't see this is worth checking out. Doctor Who Anniversary Story Deathmatch. I kind of enjoyed that stream. I did enjoy it. This is just that bit, right? But I did enjoy that stream where we went over each of the anniversary stories. Now, wait a minute. There's something we need to address. Several people in the chat said Remembrance of the Daleks was a silver anniversary story. I'm afraid it was not. Au contraire, mon capitaine. It was Silver Nemesis, which admittedly is a piece of shit compared to Remembrance of the Daleks. Like, Remembrance of the Daleks, probably one of the best Dalek stories ever, right? I mean, Remembrance of the Daleks can go like toe-to-toe with Genesis, right? It is awesome beyond awesome, right? It is it highlights what a tragedy it was that John Nathan Turner didn't attach himself to an auteur writer, right? To a writer with a vision for Doctor Who, right? Because Eric Sable was just, he could do, right? But I think when bringing on Colin Baker, he should have brought on a new script editor, right? He should have ended it as well. He should have sensed that Eric Saywood was done. That was his job, right? And that was his mistake that he didn't. Because could you imagine if he got like a young writer, like a Neil Gaiman, for example, right? That'll be about that era, like as a script editor. And somebody could say to him, John, I think that's a really bad idea, right? Somebody like, you know, again, he gets the last word, obviously. But I think, let's say you're in an interview and said, look, John, I really think I could do great things for you. I really think we can do great things with Doctor Who. Part of that is I have to have the freedom to be able to say to you when I think you make a mistake, right? Are you comfortable with that? I think John Nathan Turner would respect that, right? I really do. Because honestly, it's if he had a creative vision, it was like Hinchcliffe Holmes or Letts and Dix, who were. You would have got greatness. You really genuinely would. He had everything there, but like the storytelling vision and the ability to let go of it to somebody. You know who he should have brought on board as the. I don't know, it'd be too weird. But what about what's his name? The Kinder dude. What's his name? Frank Bailey, wasn't it? I mean, look, they couldn't find him to do a full script, I think. But like they did a big Finnish adaptation of his unmade story. It was very good, right? Exagoria, very good indeed, right? Very good indeed. So anyway, yeah, Silver Nemesis was the silver anniversary story, and it was a piece of shit. I'm sorry, it's not good. God bless them. That was the dud of the season, right? You had Remembrance of the Daleks, Happiness Patrol, awesome. Oh, fuck, I love Happiness Patrol, right? It is so designed to be watched super high. It's got that real 80s, it's strange, it's got that real 80s gay scene in it, right? Because it feels like it's happening, it is happening overnight, right? Remember that show Insomniac, where that guy was up all night? Who are they? Not Dave Chappelle, Dave Appel, maybe. But when you got to see like in weird nightlife, that's what it was. That it felt like a gay night. It felt like a night out, right? It really weird with Doctor Who. Really super worked. Love that story, right? Silver Devil is a piece of shit. Although, look, the Cybermen look good. The special effects were good. Ace with the slingshot and the gold coins was good. Ace is genuinely good. Special effects were good. Story was shit. Direction only slightly better, right? And then you had Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Awesome. Absolutely awesome episode, right? Episode story, I should say. Right? Really loved it, right? I can't wait for that. That thing's not out yet, is it? No. Or is it? Hang on. Let me go look over there. The next one's season 2. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. No, they've got 24 and 26. That's season 25 yet. Right? Oh man, season 25 would be good. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, season 2 comes out, I think, next week, right? And I got it on order. Should come right now. Oh man, if anyone's come to Israel, okay? Anyone's coming to Israel, and wants to bring me a book, I would love to get the Who Adventures book, this coffee table book about Virgin New Adventures. But it's like £30 for the book and another like £25 to ship it to Israel. I'm like, fuck off. I want it, but I don't want it that badly. That's ridiculous. Right? I should be able to print on demand. Here's how a book should work, right? Everywhere in the world, there's print on demand centers, right? You just print a book on demand in the center nearest you. And that's it. Right? I'm surprised Amazon doesn't have that yet. And then you get like the cheapest shipping anyway. Right? Yeah, it's I'd love to go. But anyway, so what's I saying about England? Can't remember. Anyway, fine. So that long story short, that was a good stream. Fine, Millie, you look awesome, darling. Yeah, just beyond awesome. I mean, but I like that better. Shoot, you look nice too. Oh yes, I'm bringing back traditional fantasy. I don't speculation, and it's glorious. Oh yeah, we got to talk about that Mirror article. Yes, of course. For a gay man, Rusty Davis knows how to cast attractive young women. Yes, he does. I think he did better this time than with Rose, right? But it's the same sort of thing. A bit like JNT in that's Jordan Lee says that. Mr. Jack and Hyde, a bit like JNT in that respect with the lovely Miss Bryant. Yes, absolutely. Right, absolutely. But also, here's the difference. I think Russell T. Davies, I think John Nathan Turner was a natural showman, right? Like a genuine, like he loved the grease paint, right? He like panto was his thing, right? Him and his boyfriend, husband, whatever you want to call him, right? Gary Downey was a perfect couple, a producer and a dancer, right? That's where his idea, he knew how to get bums on seats, right? And he a pretty girl with like a big pair of tits, essentially in a thin waist, goes a long way, right? And then if she does, once you find that, you hang on to that, right? And then and he was behind all those like very sexual photo shoots of her, right? So because he wanted her to be sexualized, because he knew that sells. Now, Rusty Davis also knows that, but I think it's a difference, right? Rusty Davis, I think it comes from, I think he's a very clever man, Rusty Davis, right? I think he's naturally very, very clever. I think he's very artistic, but I think his job is thinking about how things happen. How things happen is how people are. Yeah, that's basically what it is. He thinks about how people are, what people do, right? So I think he's got an incredibly strong understanding of human nature, right? I think he's got absolutely very strong. I think that's where his showman-like thing comes from, right? He knows what's going to sell. I think this is going to be as iconic as Tom Baker and Sarah Jane, Liz Sladen, right? I think we're looking at like down about of like a really, 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 really iconic, popular Doctor Who, right? Something very Doctor Who, something that we haven't seen before. I'm very, very excited. Something something few of us have seen before. Something few of us get to bask in. It's said at the end of days, right? It's said at the end of days. The God Lord reveals himself and you bask in the holy light of his goodness, right? That is something that we all look forward to. It says the righteous are healed by the holy light of the good Lord, right? Sadly, that light is closed off from us in this world. However, there is a minuscule molecule of it. There's a little bit that the good Lord imbues in the world, and that is with the power of royalty. Royalty will light the way where only darkness resides. Evil, even it's like in Game of Thrones. Royal blood is royal blood. Doesn't matter, mate. Who it doesn't matter here because I think we're a few notches below the bloke in Game of Thrones who had the leeches on him, right? Who had the sexy woman, right, and then ties him up. Suddenly, he leeches him out so they can use his blood for dark magic. I don't know how effective our next guest will be. But he would be in it because they would be able to use his blood. He is, of course, the one and only Birmingham's King of Bit Keith.
Hey.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. I've just noticed I forgot to put my ring light on, but I look a bit shrouded in darkness, and I've got my hat on as well. Hello, everybody. Hello. Yeah, I love the tribute.
You look a lot like the enemy within Master.
Do I really?
The Eric Kimball Master.
Yes,
I didn't think zoom into your eyes.
Yes, I know exactly who you mean. Gerald, I can remember the geezer's name. I've seen a picture of him recently, though. I tell you what, though, in that House of the Dragon, okay, Paddy Considine, he had to lose an eye and his hair and all that sort of stuff, but he did get looked after by that fit sort with...
Yes.
You win some, you lose some.
Especially the young version. I'm sorry, but yes. I agree.
Oh, no, I prefer the
story of the book. That's really what the book is. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I like to sound well read. I lie a lot as well, Stephen. Have you seen my thumbnail for tonight? I'm very proud
of it. Actually, I don't know if you've seen, but I don't know where to start. The other side to the fandom who claim that they don't watch you, Rabbi, but we know you do. Hello, William, and everybody else out there. Unblock us. What's the worst thing that can happen, William? They have been doing their nut about your thumbnails this last week or so. Have you seen?
Really? No. I saw one guy contact me.
BBC William who put up one of yours from the week, and somebody sent me a thing, and it said something along the lines of, when's somebody going to put a stop to this? This guy's been putting out these perverse pictures for years. And now he's been doing it for Jodie and Amanda, but now he started on Millie, and he was like, oh.
But okay, I want you to know, to Millie, it's with pure love. It really is. I love Millie. Don't get me wrong. And I never objectify her more than she's objectified herself, right? She's much more PG-13 than Amanda and
very true.
I mean, even this is PG-13. And I want to say, that's her real boobs, okay? That's not anybody else's boobs. I didn't put anybody else's boobs on her. I do that a lot, okay? I didn't do that with her, all right? That's what she looked like. Cut her out of her dress.
Yeah, they're very impressive jumper bunnies. And the thing is, with this actress too, by the time we see her on screen, I think she's 18 now. Hopefully she's going to be with the show a few years, and we're going to get to see her. We're going to get to see her performance grow. We're going to get to see her grow as a person, and her womanhood really sort of take over.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, honestly, look, for her, it's fantastic news. I think I think this is going to be as iconic as I was saying, but as the Full Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith. I think this is really, really primo Doctor Who. Hey, what's it?
Yeah. It is good news. It just has that feeling about it.
It's getting more exciting as we go along.
Well, this week we are within I don't know if you know about this. We are days away from seeing both of them in costume. We're going to see that soon, very, very soon. That's coming.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's right. Well, she just had a haircut. Here, let me show that.
Yeah, I know.
1 second. Here, share screen.
Yeah, so the idea that people are trying to get your thumbnails banned is absolutely outrageous. William, have a word with yourself, mate. Come on.
When was this going on?
Wednesday, maybe? Tuesday, Wednesday?
I had no idea. It's so good when you don't know and don't care.
Well, this is what I say made me laugh.
Right. So she's got a new look, her transformation. Here they go. So that's her look for Doctor Who.
Wow. That is.
And she's still gorgeous. She's still like insanely gorgeous.
Well, I think she actually looks better. I mean, I thought she was pretty before, don't get me wrong, but she's got a touch of the Margot Robbie's about her.
Oh, I do that. Listen, I think for her, this is such good news. Honestly, again, I think the stars lining up. I think she's going to be beloved. I really do by a generation. I think 10 years from now, they're going to be clamoring for her in what's left of Hollywood or what new Hollywood is, right? She's got, because she can do the action stuff. She can do special effects. She can do science fiction. She's relatable. She's gorgeous. She can scrub up well. She can do it. She's got very versatile with a fan base. She's going to be having Oscar after Oscar, right? She's going to have the career that Karen Gillan should be having. By the way, anybody out there in Hollywood who still can make movies, right? You wanted to do a female Pirates of the Caribbean, and you wanted Margot Robbie. Schmucks. No. Karen Gillan, right? Written and directed by Guillermo del Toro. Pirate movie. Yes. Go. I want that.
I could see that.
That'll be awesome. It will be it'll be fantastic. It's the good use of both their talents.
Yeah, I'd like to. Part of me would like to see another Pirates movie, and with or without Johnny Depp, I think it could be fun. But the whole thing,
I ran out of steam. I couldn't go.
Oh yeah, they did. That's why it needs drastically repositioning. It needs a director to come in and ideally commit to make a couple of those movies. I think they're only worth coming at again if you're going to drastically change it. I'd skip it on fictionally about maybe 10 years in the fictional universe, and I'd have a deliberately older Captain Jack Sparrow. I mean, really? You can see where she keeps her Smarties there, can't you? Blimey.
Billy, you look gorgeous. What do you want? The physical reality is, yes, you should be very attracted by this very, very hot woman. Yes. If you're not, there's something very strange about you, right? But
I think she's going to do very, very well in this show, providing I'm still a little bit apprehensive until I know who the other writers are on this show, because I can't see Russell writing it all.
I think he's writing it all. I think he's writing it all. What, you don't think he's got the energy to do it?
No, I don't doubt that he would. I know he's written all of the Tennant and Tate ones. He's written every line of that. But and the first one, the first Shooty special, but because we don't know how many, I think the conservative guess would be a 10-episode season, and I don't know if he would write all 10, particularly if he's.
Well, you know what? I know he wants it to use it easy, using it as an incubator of talent. So you're probably right. Right, you're almost certainly right. He's viewing this like, you ever read Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah.
The Batman story.
Yeah.
So at the end of Dark Knight Returns, Batman fakes his death and he ends up hiding out to train a new a generation of superheroes, right?
Yeah.
In the caves underneath what was Wayne Manor, right? So I think Russell D. Davies has seen the cultural apocalypse that we're living in, right? And agrees with the wokeness. Is just that you're failing horribly, right? I think he's trying to train a whole new era of creatives to be able to do their job, right?
Rather than the incompetence that are running rampant across pop culture at the moment.
There's so much incompetency. There is so much insane incompetency, including my own. Here, let me offer welcome to some of the people in the chat. I hardly got started. Just give me a minute. Jacqueline Hyde, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Catherine 3, how are you? Easter Buckheimer, how are you here? No, sorry. I'm glad you're here. How are you? I'm glad you're here. It's what I meant to say. Darren Evans here. Thank you for joining us. I always struggle on your name here. I'm sorry. Karamazov. There you go. Got it. Same here. I wish I'd seen Nicola Bryant when she was teen. I saw when I was a teen, and I never forgot it. I think things would have gone in a much better direction. Well, for me, it was right. What you're guessing absolutely happened. Yes, it went in a very good direction. Daniel's hot topics here. How you doing, Daniel? Thank you for joining us. PD Rich, how you doing? PD is back at school. PD is yes. PD is what's the thing going on? I don't know why. I just imagine PD Rich at school like Ferris Bueller and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes. I'm sure the reality isn't like that, right?
Yes, he has mentioned it now. I come to think of it, yeah.
Right. Okay, if I go to the chat, Soda Engine's here. Soda Engine, thank you for joining us. Sorry, Petey's now commenting on the person who declined to be on my channel. Run screaming when it was one of these people who were like, oh, how dare you? That's that guy. I didn't know it was going on elsewhere, right?
I'm lost.
He was complaining that I didn't give him time to pre-prepare.
I'm lost. So you invited somebody to come on your channel, and they
said yes.
They resisted.
Yes, I do. DM me right away. I said, okay, I'll send you a link on Saturday. He's like, wait, what? Gordon Hudson is here. He should have hired Stephen Gallagher. He had written for who by that point. Yeah, I was saying that John Nathan Turner should have strapped himself to an O-Tour writer, not Eric Saywood, or at least started with one with Colin Baker, right? And have the writer say, as a condition, I got to be able to say to you, John, I think it's a terrible idea. Like John wants to go, you go, hey, John, I really think it's a bad idea. Right? It's not the direction of the show I want.
I get the impression that Chris Bidmead. I get the impression that Chris Bidmead worked with him like that, a very softly spoken man, and would say that to him. And he was moved on quite quickly.
It lasted 1 year. Exactly. It was the tragedy. Kyle Gowns Crash Course is here. Matthew Pounder is here. I'm doing quite good. I'm only 10 minutes behind right now. Liam Nielsen is here. I haven't seen it rated. Liam Nielsen. Will find you, and I will kill you.
Firm but fair. Firm but fair.
Much like Millie Gibson. Let us start with this story. The big news of the day. Do you prefer the Mirror or the... No, we'll go to the Mail. I've got the Mail open. Yeah.
Surprise me. I've been off again. I've been offline because I had that live stream I did on Thursday. It wiped me out. I was knackered.
I'm an hour into it so far.
Oh, I mean, this is not. This isn't an intentional plug. I was absolutely effed by the end of it. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, fine. Just to fill everybody in. Finally, what about it? How you doing? What was I going to say? Just so you know, I never heard of him before. What's he called again? Hugh
JJ from Avenue Who.
So it seemed to be like a guy who makes puppets, the Muppets of Doctor Who does a show. It looks really cool. I haven't seen it before. Is it like dirty or is it like clean?
As I understand it, I suspect JJ used to work on a popular children's television show that used to use sticky back plastic quite a lot. He used to work on that. But he's a very versatile guy. He's very good at improvising, and so I would imagine that he tailors the gags to suit whoever is sat before him, because the stuff that he was saying before and after the show, quite frankly, some of the gags were not so much near the knuckle as well over it.
It seems to be like he was buying a guy. Do you reckon he'll come on my channel and be naughty?
I don't know. I wouldn't like to say. I couldn't speak for him. I mean,
can you let him know the offer's really out? I loved it on your show. It was so much fun, and you could be. I'm not monetized to do what you want, baby. Okay, just know, racism or that sort of thing.
Well, if you've watched the first hour, in the second half, you can see things get a bit more manic and a bit more riotous. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Fine. Let's have a look at this story. Share screen. Doink. Big news that I found coming off. So, you were recovering, you said, from your stream. That's why you've been offline.
Yeah, I was exhausted. Yeah, absolutely exhausted. So yesterday I had some work to do. I had some stuff to get sorted in the city as well. And yes, so I thought I'd just take 24 hours with next to no screen time, which I almost managed.
No, it's good. So, have you seen the story? Doctor Who villains, Cybermen and Daleks are set to get their own spin-off series showing what they get up to without the Time Lord.
You know what it's like on Twitter. There are people that send you things through direct messages and things from what other people are saying and articles like this. And I've been sent this 3 or 4 times. And yeah, I mean, my initial response is, isn't this exactly the same story that was doing the rounds 3 or 4 months ago? And
it's what we've been saying for like about
years.
a year.
Yeah. So whilst I agree, yes, it probably is, and it probably will. I don't know why they think this is news.
Do they have any? Well, let's read it. See if they have any actual sources that indicate this direction, or this is the sort of thing they could do. But let's have a look. It's scheduled to blah blah blah. Shudigatwa and Doctor Who is reportedly set to become a spin-off show centered. Doctor Who is set to record a spin-off show around the show's villain, the Cybermen and the Daleks. That's 2 shows or 1 show showing what they get up to without the eponymous Time Lord. This sounds like bullshit. Right?
Exactly.
It sounds too basic, right? It sounds absolutely basic. The news comes after the BBC allegedly signed an exciting new deal with Disney Plus, meaning the show budget gets nothing to do with BBC. Piss off. Although they do get much more of a say than I like. According to the Mirror, the new spin-off won't just delve into storylines of Cybermen and Dalek, but a string of villains throughout the show. Oh, that's interesting. So you're going to get like their idea is a 1 hour a week, I imagine, not Game of Thrones, but like adult drama of a Sontaran, like a life of the Sontaran. I mean, that could be fun.
I think there's a certain degree of scope in a Doctor Who universe centered anthology series, exactly the kind of show that Brian Fuller wanted Star Trek Discovery to be. He imagined that as an anthology show where the characters, the setting would change literally episode by episode. I think you could do that with Doctor Who quite well. I did see the breakdown. I did see his proposal for it, but it was there were central. There was an overarching, not theme exactly, but there were overarching bits and glimmers that were supposed to stitch something together for the audience watching in a very kind of Bad Wolf way, in a kind of rudimentary way. But the general idea is that he viewed it as a place where he could go to tell Star Trek stories without a regular cast of between 6 and 7 people on a starship. He wanted to tell stories about individual people and across different worlds. And different centuries as well. It was supposed to take place in both the 23rd and the 24th century.
Okay, that would have been interesting. Yeah, it's kind of tragic. Brian Fuller is such a huge talent, right? It's really tragic. He never got. Okay, here's what I'm convinced with Star Trek Discovery, that the bright Enterprise uniforms we saw at the end of season 1, that was supposed to be the uniforms in Discovery, and they got like axed in a night along knives. That's what we got. But everything is Brian Fuller apart from the uniforms in season 1, right? That's what we've got. Those bland, unitard things in season 1. But that's essentially why everything else was Brian Fuller. Everything good, I should say.
Yeah, everything good would have come directly from him. You can see the point. Well, we know. I've read an interview with him where we know that he contributed X amount of scripts, say for argument's sake 7. And you can spot the point where they
spot it immediately, can't you?
They just run out. They just run out of his scripts because whether you liked, a lot of people hated it from the get-go on principle, and a lot of people hate. So did I. A lot of people hated it stylistically, which I understand, but I didn't. I liked it. I was excited by it. But you could, I think, even if you did enjoy one or all of those things, you could immediately tell when the scripts dried up from the guy who thought the thing up in the first place.
When they cut for the Christmas break, right?
Yeah, that's how it seemed.
Yeah, but they had no idea what to do when they came back.
Yeah.
It really was very, very apparent.
Yeah.
I liked Harry Mudd. I liked, was it Rainn Wilson's Harry Mudd? I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
I thought he made him a dangerous villain. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's an anthology show centered around monsters, Centaurans, Weeping Angels, Sea Devils, in separate series following what they got, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. TV and Tidal told which publication? Mel and I have contact representative BBC and Disney Plus to comment. Which publication did it? Oh, The Mirror. Right, fine. The Mirror's got a good form, though.
The Mirror had brilliant form until quite recently. It tends to depend on which reporter it is. There's one reporter at The Mirror, Nicola something. If she puts her name to it, I tend not to believe it. But there are other, because I'm sure that she's probably watching you now. But there's somebody else who writes there where their stuff tends to be on the money, and they used to cover Doctor Who all the time, but they seem to move that person out of the way for this Nicola person, and she's been steadily wrong for about a year. Because I've always said to people, because we've got the Type 40 Facebook group, so I would share these links from newspapers, and people would go, "Oh, no, not The Mirror," and I'd have to go through this every time. Well, The Mirror have got a great track record, blah blah. But yeah, in the last 7 or 8 months, it seems to have deserted them. So I don't know if they had people at BBC Cymru and they haven't got people at Bad Wolf. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure what's changed.
I'm sure it's that. That's it, right? I'm sure it's like as simple as that. Anyway, where are they? Let's see what they have to say. Reports in the spin-off. Reports of the spin-off will return. It's also will come return Russell Davis, who stepped down from producer 12 years ago, is no stranger to expanding Who universe during his stint. Okay, fine, did that before. Sarah Jane Adventures, Torchwood, Charles. Yeah, fine, man, we know. Shooty, don't dress like that. Other than that, we're fine. Source Broadcast Magazine. Yeah, they're getting a lot more money. God, look at Jodie Whittaker. Stop.
Dear me.
Stop, though.
Yeah, she looks like she's having a bikini line.
There you go. We're again. Oh, happy days. There you go. So you actually lose hair, darling. So where are we up? Jodie Whittaker final episode pulled in just 3.6 million average viewers with a peak of 4 billion according to overnight ratings. I love that it's reporting on it, right? I mean, listen, I like the Millie Gibson on the page too, but I love its reporting on it. It's so funny. Her last run on the program proved more popular than the news special. They just got 3.2 million. Average peak view of 3.4. However, audience numbers still maintained far below the star with Jodie's tenure as a Doctor rating was staggering 9 minutes. Yes, we know it's fallen off a cliff. We understand. Hoping to push the ratings back up, the popular new show will have a massive overhaul in its return. Actress Millie Gibson recently announced as Shooting Up was new companion Ruby Sunday. Oh, Ellie, it's so good to see you. Always happy to see you, darling. In a statement, the star said the new role was a dream come true. You don't know how much it is, darling. As much as anticipated, as the much anticipated was finally revealed, much like fan. Tell you, Ralph C. Davis knows with how to drip a story out, right? It's been right. It's really going very, very well. The whole promotion of this. It's
I'm glad you think so too, because again, I know there are people out there who feel that we are being hopelessly optimistic and that the sky is still falling. But I don't really think they're putting a foot wrong here, particularly now that Russell seems to have shut up here. Unless it is award season soon. He may be at another couple of ceremonies. He may well have one or two over the odds again. I don't know, and start talking bollocks. But generally speaking, Russell seems to have shut up and knuckled down to work. These two are like both Shooty and Millie are like two rays of sunshine. And that's why I need to know who's writing this now. And then I can relax. Then I can say very confidently.
I felt very reassured that Scott Hancock has such an important role in this.
He seems a likable guy, doesn't he? He seems very focused as well.
He's got a strong track record. Have you listened to any of the stuff he's done? Big Finish stuff?
Well, he's done so much I must have. And to my shame.
Maybe it's like the Dorian Gray range.
I never listened to those. But I know that was his baby. And I know that did do well outside of Doctor Who circles as well. I believe that got a couple of these sort of spoken word awards, audio drama awards. I know that's very well thought of.
It was strong. Yeah, it was a strong. He's done a lot of stuff, and he normally has a good beat, right? His judgment is normally very good. him working as script editor and actually being so front and center about it is, I think, very, very good news and reassuring.
And also, mate, he seems like he hasn't got a malicious bone in his body. He seems to be all about the work, all about creativity. He seems to be learning from Russell T Davies and everybody else around him at Big Finish. You don't find him on Twitter. You don't find him on Twitter like Vinay Patel, just having a go at some random dude. He just seems to be all about the work, and people seem to like him. And you got to judge at face value, haven't you? If you see somebody going around being a dick, odds are they're going to be a dick. If you see somebody who's fairly engaged with people, pretty polite, and has this, as you say, this track record of stuff which, okay, even if you haven't seen it or watched it, that has gone down well, then you've got every reason to be optimistic.
Right. Listen, okay. Here's a story I think that people will be most nervous about. I'm putting out a video about this, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Could Disney and Thanksgiving impact 60th anniversary event? Have you heard this, Warriors, yet?
Oh no! This is bleeding cool, is it? Have they originated this load of old guff?
I believe so. Well, yeah. This is basically what's going on. It's I'll read it, but Thanksgiving is a television dead zone. They have American football on and nothing else. I mean, it's something else, but nothing ever gets scheduled against the American football. It's just it's because nothing really works against it with losers. That's the only thing people watch in America, right? So they may be reticent to debut a big brand on a TV dead zone. I think probably it's going to be okay. This is an international brand, and I think the quirky Britishness of it'll probably be at 8:00 here there in the UK, which is 1-2 p.m. on the East Coast. That's probably when they'll drop it, right before any big game starts, and it'll be like alternate viewing. I haven't read the article, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, without reading this article, I noticed it's with Bleeding Cool. Bleeding Cool are based at, Rich Johnson, who runs it, he's based in the UK. I mean, just based on the headline, based on the timing, based on the taking the temperature in the fan base at the moment, I'm going to call this load of fucking bollocks. I don't think it'll make any difference at all. If you were talking about, I noticed that Marvel have dropped their Guardians of the Galaxy thing for Thanksgiving, and it's like a 50-minute thing. This will not affect Doctor Who in any way at all.
It sounds silly to me. It does sound silly.
Utter bollocks.
Let's read it. See if they have any rationale. Okay, when November 23rd, 2023, when November 2023 rolls around, the fans of the BBC Doctor Who will celebrate the long-running series return in grand fashion. Returning new showrunner Russell T Davies is offering us returns of David Tennant, 14th Doctor, Catherine Tate. On-screen introductions are to new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. New Companion Rubens. A 3-episode event also means it will serve as a bridge to the new series. That's where things get a little complicated, possibly. We don't know anything yet. Become a little complicated, possible, because I think mainly they say possibly. Because after looking at our calendars, we realize that a lot of our other folks are realizing too. To honor 6th anniversary, the first episode would have to air on Thursday, November 23rd, 2020. Well, why the first episode? Which also happens to be Thanksgiving in United States. So you might think that there could be the last episode. You might also think that you might think that's not a big problem because in the past the episode special would air in the UK at normal time 7 and would air at the same time 2. Yeah, what we're saying. Okay, with re-airing later today. Well, those are the BBC American day. Disney is no BBC America. Okay, what's your point? Oh, hey, how you doing, Millie? Okay, there you go. Everything's good. Millie's on the screen. At the end of October, we learned that the mouse would blah blah blah. You outside. Okay, so yeah, Disney's story, and since that time. There have been rumblings that Disney would also have be an active investor in the series and some overall say in how the show operates. Now, my take on this, by the way, is that Russell T Davies has, on paper, delivering everything that Disney wants, right? They're putting they're basically teeing up the first huge black action hero star role model. I mean, like, I think the cultural impact of Shoot is going to be massive, right? And I think Disney really wants to be connected to that, and that's really on brand for Disney, right? Having Yasmin Finney in the opening 3 episodes, really on brand for Disney. And so I think Disney, and so's Rusty Davis, very popular, says the right things in the right circles, very on brand for Disney. So I think on paper, everything is, they don't even need to look at what's going on. They are just happy with things. What do you think?
I believe that Doctor Who obviously has a profile already. It's the perfect fit for Disney, for the family audience brand. We know that. But when it comes to this miniseries in particular, I mean, firstly, just because Disney are the biggest players in this now, they've also the one who've joined last. It's not that we've heard about it last. They were the last to come aboard this. This was always happening at this time. It's a case of they got to like it or lump it. But looking at it from Disney's point of view, I don't believe that they will have any expectation of Doctor Who, these 3 specials, for argument's sake. I don't believe that they're looking at that and thinking that within 24 hours of that dropping, it's going to be this overnight sensation that's going to take their platform by storm, break records, blah, 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 and it's all that anybody's talking about. But I think they'll be looking at it and thinking, okay, when this drops, and that's assuming, we're making a lot of assumptions here, it'll drop, and globally, right, America is only one territory. Yeah, it's a big territory. It's only one territory. This is going to be everywhere. The Americans, they may be, bless your hearts, you may well be on the outside of a few drinks while it's all kicking off. But in that 24, 48, 72-hour period over that weekend, the buzz around it, when it drops internationally, is going to grow and grow and grow and grow when people realize, yes, it is safe to look. Yes, this is good. Hasn't this 3-part thing all been really enjoyable? So I think the idea that people will, you see, they're labouring under the misapprehension that everybody watches something that drops on Disney Plus at 1:00 in the morning whenever some new thing, like what happens with Soul. That's not Amazon how it gets consumed. It's just not how
Amazon genuinely thought people were going to love it.
It's just not how television is generally consumed. Things catch on by kind of word of mouth. I mean, Bridgerton is a prime example. That was a success, not because it immediately dropped as this brand new show and everybody watched it that morning and it was wonderful and it exploded. No, that success happened over a 2-month period. And whilst I don't think, obviously, Doctor Who is more known than that, even in the States, and David Tennant is a reasonably big international star, reasonably big. It's the same thing in principle. This person writing this article for Bleed, if they genuinely believe this, I don't know. I don't know what to say to them. It sounds like pointless.
They do. They're making this like very. I haven't even got their argument. As an investment, as serious how it operates. If that's the case, then Disney will be looking to maximize investment as much as possible. With that in mind, having the 6th anniversary run in the US in the middle of Thanksgiving is a hell of a challenge, considering more and more streamers are looking to.
But Rabbi, when the important thing is, and this is something that maximize their investment. Disney do not own even half of this thing. They don't even own a quarter of this thing. They'll be looking to maximize their investment. What have we put in? What can we feasibly, ideally expect to get out of it? So they're talking as if Disney, they're making the same mistake that a lot of people in the fandom are talking like this. Like Disney have bought Doctor Who and bought Bad Wolf, and that has not happened. And voices, those of us who are keeping our heads, there are a few of us, I know you are as well, Rabbi, those of us that are keeping our heads, we absolutely have to repeat this over and over and over again. Disney may be a new player in this. They may be a big player internationally, but they were the last people to come on board, and they own the smallest stake in this. So what is their investment? Generally speaking, nowhere near as much as Sony's, and nowhere near as much for them is riding on it as is riding on Bad Wolf. The entire future of Bad Wolf rests on Doctor Who being a success. Even after the success of their other shows, if they fuck up Doctor Who, they're screwed. Sony would just buy them outright.
Yeah, this is their big chance. I have to say. Although actually, I do feel Disney feels roughly the same right now. I don't think they got a brand they feel confident in at all. Listen. I know that the rumors about Indiana Jones are probably not true, but it just feels like they could be, right? And I know they've been denied till they're blue in their face. Right.
Well, regardless of the film Indiana Jones, which none of us have fucking seen, so people are getting really people have gone off the scale with that. But Disney are mishandling the entire PR around that film. So whilst I think that people within the fandom really need to give their heads a wobble, as the expression goes, about this, the reaction is already silly. The film's not out for nearly a year, but Disney, Lucasfilm are handling it all as badly as they ever do. And unless they rethink their strategy about how to field this criticism and coach their employees a bit more wisely, then this will be a massive disaster, regardless of the quality of the film.
I just want to say is that all multinational corporations hire me as a consultant to tell you what stupid things not to say. Okay, I am cheap, and it's just I will save you so much grief. Oh, yeah, really. I mean, look, Henry Cavill, basically everything comes out of his mouth is right. Okay, it doesn't matter what franchise it is, doesn't what he's doing. Everything comes out of his mouth. I don't care if he's telling the truth. I don't care, but I care that he's lying to me, even if he's lying to me, trying to be nice. Yeah. Anyway, so he's saying it's up against Macy's Day Parade, family dinners,
and
exactly. Could the shine when the show airs be adjusted? Sure, if Disney wants to be painted as the big bad by a bunch of Brits and their torches and pitchforks looking for trap them. What? I can also see the ugly social media getting David and Goliath public reactions, and it's not happening, you weirdo. Oh.
What is he saying again? I can already see just how ugly social. This guy's an utter penis. What is he talking about?
I have no idea. I've genuinely no idea. Is playing a long game, and when it comes to Doctor Who, and they'll be more concerned. Okay, this is just clickbait. This is clickbait nonsense.
It is completely. Yeah, if you want an example of a Disney that doesn't screw everything up, look at how, and I think I've mentioned this before. Look at the Australian children's series Bluey. They're involved in that to the exact same extent as they're going to be with Doctor Who. They haven't screwed that up. Bluey is a massive brand. Bluey is getting more and more popular. It's got this huge fan base, and it's remained true to the show that the people who were making it anyway, because again, Disney came in the last player in the team there. It's still the same show as it was when it first began. So the idea they're not all Star Wars shows, Obi-Wan and all that sort of stuff. It's not the yardstick of everything that is on the Disney Plus platform. Get some perspective.
Andor.
No. I watched the first 5 and I liked it, Rabbi. I personally liked it.
Out of those 5 hours, you had less than an hour of story.
Well, this is it. I liked it, and I've been standing up for it for the last 2 to 3 months. However, I completely, for about 10 days, I forgot it existed. And now, of course, it's over. And I realized that, did I? Because it's one of the strangest shows I've ever watched. As I was watching it, I was engaged by it. It seemed, like when I watched the first couple of She-Hulk, 25 minutes of that seemed to last 5 friggin' hours. But Andor seemed to go by like that. I enjoyed it. It was quite nippy. And I was interested in it.
Hey, this is basically the deal with Andor. It's a show made almost entirely of deleted scenes, right? Every scene in that show could be cut out, right? If you cut out 90% of it and
probably
thread it together, you have a zippy good movie. And it's not like it's going insanely zippily. It's just like it's not terminally boring, right?
Well, he thinks Tony Gilroy, who I do respect, I do think he knows what he's doing. Tony Gilroy thinks he's making a John le Carré take on Star Wars. So this is all deliberate.
No, I get fine, but it's just boring.
No, I agree. I'm not saying he's right.
there's one plot point per episode, no more than that. And
John le Carre.
Yeah, I guess, but and look, I saw the finale, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but like nothing happens.
I can believe it.
Nobody expects anything to happen. Like
I think the majority of it. I think the majority of it is going to happen because it's only 2 seasons, isn't it? The entire thing was plotted at the same time. I'm expecting that the next season to be when it all happens. I'm not expecting things to kick off as such, but I think that's going to be when the bulk of things actually happen.
I mean, there's the characters in it that I feel are just so poor. Like you've seen this character, the one that becomes obsessed with whoever killed the troopers on. Right, yeah. So that's like a Javier character from Les Miserables. That's basically who he's supposed to be, right? And he, as you watch his story arcs, trawl through the interminably dull season, right? There's an episode he goes on a spaceship, and another episode he walks down the street, right? And that's it. And then he meets his mother, and
yes, I saw that one. Yeah, it's like I say, I think it's misconceived. I think it's not that I think that I think how they're looking at Star Wars as a brand is similar to how they're looking at Marvel as a brand in making different shows for different combinations of the demographic. For example, for me, it seemed very clear that the Miss Marvel TV show was aimed at 13 to 17, 18-year-old kids. I don't know whether it was
no. It was aimed at what weirdo Disney pedophile executives think 13 to 17-year-old kids look like. Okay, that's it. By the way, before I have to say hello. Problem being, how you doing? And Mark Lazar's here. Problem being, I think coming back to Twitter soon, right? I think
as Elon has saved the problem being. That's wonderful news.
Well, I think he's doing everybody en masse. Have you heard that?
Lee, you've got to please get verified. If you do, that would be funny as fuck.
Oh, I will pay for it. Okay. Yes. I can't get Twitter Blue where I am. It makes me crazy. I told you.
Right? I believe that Noel Glynn and I think the TARDIS zone. And I've spoken to Lee about this. And apparently it's a lot more. I don't know much about these things. Apparently it's very expensive. I think the TARDIS zone should be an app. I think it should be. I think Noel should be verified. And the TARDIS zone should be an app, and we could all have it on our phones there because I think it's got that kind of feel to it. And wouldn't that drive them completely insane if Noel was in the App Store? It'd be brilliant. But yes, yeah.
Actually, you know what would be a great app? Like a Who Vision app, right? With just channels that we like on it, like just good Doctor Who channels on it.
Mm. Yeah.
And then, obviously gatekeep the weirdos out.
You know what I mean, though, because Noel is very much kind of he's always the first to the mic and the first, he's there a lot of the time with the raw reaction. And I think there's a certain amount of currency in that,
Yeah, no, I do agree. Anyway, fine. We're talking about spin-offs. I found where the story might come from, right?
Okay.
Do you think it might come from this story here? Doctor Who fans call for spin-offs and historicals in 2023 and beyond. Have you seen the story?
I have, and my short answer is you're absolutely right. This is exactly where this has come from. This is just mainstream media cycling stories back on one another, and this and Radio Times. This came from us. This came from us, all of us, not just you and I, you as well, all of us. So this is what it's chasing its own tail, this entire story. That's why I feel like when people send it to me, and thank you, everybody who sends me stuff, I do appreciate it, I do. But Peter, I've been sent this 3 times. Well, Dan, what do you think? I think the same thing as I thought in June. Yes, when we first talked about it. It's the same story.
Everybody out there, send me any bollocks, okay? My general attitude is, if it makes me giggle in any way, I'm running with it. Right? I don't care if it's real or not, okay? If it amuses me, yes, that's going on a thumbnail, right? By the way, I on the other corner of my eye, I looked up the whole William Who thing. Boy, did they go on a It was funny because it was like a week ago and I had no idea. And it had 0 impact on my life.
Again, I've got people, I'm glad. Yeah, it is lovely that people do send us stuff, because William has blocked me. So I was sent a screenshot, and it just had one of your thumbnails on, and she was in a, excuse me, she was in a party dress, and there was balloons and stuff around, and it was that one, and he was doing his nut. So I haven't seen it, but I know I saw the caption. It was sort of, isn't it time that somebody put a stop to this rabbi guy? And all this is.
I think I have it here. Where is it?
But I'd love to. I mean, maybe again. I mean, I know people. Well, yeah. I haven't got the time to have multiple accounts. Like,
yeah, I know.
The one I've got.
Well, here, this is what I'm looking at. This is Sunday's thumbnail, which again, I guess we're getting a lot of these coming. Where's that one? Where's the one that reads them?
Honestly, that bear is still
works. Yeah, I mean, honestly, never gets old. It's crazy. That bear can go, it can run and run and run. Here, let me find where is that from?
She will live on for far longer than the being that inspired her.
The instigator of it. Here we go. This is the one that made them crazy. I don't even think that's
That's the one.
How? I don't see the problem. I'm failing to see the problem in it. They're acting like he's 12.
I think it's possible. No, but I think it's possibly you've got that there, and you've got Nicola Bryant there with heavily augmented breasts. It's ace.
I think it works well. I think Tom's expression says it all, quite frankly. That's how we all feel about the film, mate. Yes.
I love the fact that you've got Stephen. I can't remember the guy's name who plays the first. Stephen Newland. I know Stephen watches your stuff, and I just love the idea that Stephen, if you are out there, Stephen, let us know. Hit the like button. But I love the idea that Stephen was scrolling through Twitter, saw this, and saw his face.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I was just doing it to be nice. That's me.
No, but I think it's. But that is the one that did the trick.
I know. Listen, they live to be outraged.
They do.
Fun little people, fun little scams. Let's go look and see what spin-offs people like. Doink. Okay. Bit Millie. Anything with Millie. So we're doing historical episodes. Oh, really? That sounds kind of boring. Easily the most popular demand from Who fans responded to our social media posts with the pure historical episodes. You mean boring ones? I really with the lingo. I mean, honestly, they ran out of steam with the gunfighters. After that, was it historical?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they had ideas for others, didn't they? There were certain writers who worked on them. I mean, Donald Cotton, probably the most famous one. There was more gas in the tank, I think, but I think the show had evolved past that point.
Here, 1 second. This is in the Lost Stories of.
I'd have liked to have seen that World War II story, Operation Werewolf. I think that sounded brilliant, but whether the kids would have enjoyed it, I don't know.
I've heard all the ones they made.
That was the second Doctor, was Operation Werewolf.
I don't think Big Finish have done that, have they?
No.
I'm amazed it's still out there. I can't believe they're releasing a table read of Genesis of the Daleks, and that just sounds lame. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, well, I interviewed Chris Naylor, who plays Harry Sullivan, for them just after he recorded that, and he was saying what a thrill it was to get his hand on these scripts as a fan, because he's a massive fan. And you know what it's like when you're interviewing people. You know, he was so enthusiastic about it; it did rub off on me. But now I do think, well, to me, if there's a market for it, there's a market for it. That's why Big Finish does what they do. But I've not got any great interest in it, really.
He turned up in the third Doctor set, Kaleidoscope, and it's kind of nice hearing with that. Okay, so the problem with Sullivan and Cross is this: I'm going to do a non-review of it tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I illegally downloaded it with the idea that if I liked it, I would buy it, right? I'm glad I didn't buy it. It completely validated. It's written by John Dorney, fine actor. Nothing wrong with John Dorney. The problem with this is what's her name? Eleanor Crooks, right? Eleanor Crooks as what's the name? Not Sullivan Cross. Okay,
Marcia
so
Cross, isn't it?
yeah, as a companion. So I haven't really heard her before. She's been in the Nemesis box sets,
The
but I
unit
haven't got
stuff.
to
Yeah.
listen to those. I bought the first one. I didn't finish the first box set. It was just like I just don't. I want to be done, right? I will pay not to listen to this.
They need to cull some of this stuff because the unit brand in particular could be a lot bigger if they were just more focused with it.
Right. That is a problem. But so so I listened to the first episode, and honestly, she's just too weak. And I don't mean to be mean, but like there is this
in the writing, or the actress
performance.
Oh, okay.
She just doesn't convince me. Yeah. What's his name? Chris O'Neill. Yeah. Okay. He's kind of different, Harry, but fine. I'm fine with it. She just doesn't convince me she's real, right? And I think the problem is this: there's a huge push to cast back prominently black actors, right? Which then there's a supply demand issue. They had the same issue when they were trying to increase the number of female writers at Big Finish. When you reduce your hiring pool, right? The only result is ever going to be a drop of quality, right? And I mean, no disrespect to Eleanor Crooks at all, right? I think I think she's done her best. I just don't think she's at the right point in her career for this role. Right? She's not selling it to me, right? And I wish she was.
Again, I haven't. Well, if the actors and we notice this on television, but sometimes if people, their physicality, they can sort of power through it. But I think you notice it more on audio because you've only got what you're hearing. So if an actor isn't in the moment and can't convince you they are where they're supposed to be, and this is actually happening, you notice it far more on audio. So I haven't heard her at all.
Right. I mean, look, honestly, this wouldn't be happening on TV. And I hate to be cruel, she just hasn't the right look for this role, like Millie Gibson does, right? And I mean no disrespect to her whatsoever, and it's not because England's racist, right? It's just people want to be relatable, right? And you're not you're a good character actor, maybe you're a good character having something, right? To be the relatable face, I don't think it works, right?
Well, I don't know if you saw this earlier in the week. Big Finish announced their next wave of signings, their creative signings.
No, I didn't see this.
All three were women, and one of them in particular.
That they just look at this stuff. Really, I mean, it really is.
I see. I recognise the position that they're in, but there'll be a limit with this. I'm surprised they've not reached it already.
They've reached it with me.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my review of Starcops was this, because they're over $20 for me now, right? When it's $16.99, I don't really think about it too much. Now it's over 20. I'm like, do I want this? Right? I don't know, right? And so with Starcops, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't good enough. And I asked myself, do I want to get the second box set in the series, High Frontier? And I said to myself, do I care if I never hear any Starcops in my life? Have I got enough Starcops that I can go back to and be happy in my life? I'm like, yeah, I've actually got more than enough, right? I thought the Mars book series was good. This thing I'm not really that engaged with, right? I feel exactly the same way with Paul McGann. Like this cast thing is not going to do it for me, right? I mean,
a few years ago, I'd have been bang up for this, but and I'm happy this actress is involved in a way, but this seems so contrived.
Yes.
And I was looking, I saw they announced a new Torchwood thing the other day, Torchwood in the 70s, starring Louise Jameson as the head of this Torchwood task force in the 70s.
That's how they got her in. That's interesting. Okay, fine. I was curious.
And I just don't think that this is going to work. I think that's not the Torchwood brand. Torchwood now is just a line of audio dramas they put out that just badge Torchwood, and they don't seem related to Torchwood to me whatsoever. A lot of them don't feature any of the actors that we know.
No, I mean,
they don't even feature.
Sound like a weird. Listen, I think they got a niche that they can keep making them. Okay, but again, I think going up in price has really I'm not getting this. I'm sorry. I didn't do get the last ones because I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that TARDIS team anymore, right? I'm sorry, Stranded just ruined it.
The new McGann stuff that they've got, as the first set just come out, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I believed that they knew they'd screwed up with Stranded, and that's why they've done this sort of course correction, this kind of soft relaunch again.
Not enough, mate. You needed a new, somebody new in the TARDIS. You needed a complete reboot. I mean, like I understand Twitter loved Tanya, right? The Tanya and Liv romance. They loved it. But I don't know, not for me, mate.
But mate, that's what this should and could have been. Whatever this slot is, and nothing against the woman who plays Cass. I'm kind of glad that a character that she played for a few minutes. I'm sort of glad that she gets a chance to do it again. In a way, I'm glad for her. But from a punter's perspective, you can see through this immediately. It seems really contrived, rather than just take that doctor, put him somewhere else with a new bunch of people. And push on the way that they used to with this McGann line that made it the absolute leader.
If they did this like just 6 months ago instead of the ones they did now, I would have said, fine, we're starting afresh, right? But yeah.
Tell you what, though, that logo looks bloody smart, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I've seen the logo on it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, this is a new Torchwood, the 1970s Torchwood. Yeah, and they reel out the monsters. What else do they have coming up in it? And look, this is basically like Guy Adams fanfic at this point.
That's what it's coming across as. The entire thing is coming across as fanfic. It's Torchwood. That it could be anything. And if they want to extend Torchwood, move Torchwood on, I get that. But they shouldn't be looking to somebody like Louise Jameson, who I think is incredibly talented and very versatile.
I'm reading this. I'm like, man, I might be up for this. I don't know.
But the question is, and it sounds okay, but does it sound like Torchwood to you?
No. Here, do they have a trailer?
Not at all. Not remotely like Torchwood in any way at all. They've made Torchwood into a line of Doctor Who that's kind of Doctor Who After Dark. That's just a little bit nastier, a little bit sexier, and really that's boiling Torchwood down to something that it never was, or certainly something that it had grown out of quite early. There's an argument that says without Eve Miles and without John Barrowman, you haven't got any Torchwood, and at a push, I can respect that. And the same with that geezer who plays Yanto. Yeah. I know a lot. I was never particularly into what he did, but I think that what's his name, who played Bruno Gorman? What's his name? The guy who played Owen. I think you need at least, ideally, 2 of those characters for it to feel like Torchwood. If they wanted to introduce and grow a new Torchwood team, which I thought they were doing, scope to do that.
They blew it all up with I honestly,
exactly.
The first season they did, I thought I was on board. And then by the second season, I was like, oh, God, I was just seeing a bit too preachy, right? And then they John Barrowman got axed by the BBC, and I think that's why he's not going to be in any more Big Finish productions, right? That being said, I mean, like, what this should be is like what they're doing with Blake Seven, which I find quite exciting. The Blake Seven stuff has been very good, where it's the worlds of Blake Seven. This should be the world of Torchwood. They just said the world of Torchwood. This will work.
Well, they've had several. A few years ago, they'd got Torchwood 1 with
that was good.
Yeah, and that worked because they'd got Tracy Ann Oberman, who I know is a bit of a prick. I know she's a bit of a prick. I've seen the stuff she says on Twitter, but she's a good actress who knows her character.
What stuff did you do on Twitter?
Well, she had to. Can I say yes? Because it's all over now. She had to pay. She was taken to court. Who was it? She defamed somebody on Twitter, and she's had to pay them a lot of money. I can't remember exactly who it was, because she was making claims about issues over the last 2 or 3 years, lockdowns, all sorts of things, accusing people of all sorts of wild things publicly on Twitter. Just, she was really one of the worst of the worst, ultimate, ignorant, woke lefty lovies who think they know everything. And she really was. She was taken down several pegs, taken to court, and has had to pay a lot of money. I can't remember who it was. The person she's had to pay is also somebody that you've heard of. I can't remember who it was though.
Okay, I don't know. What's his name? Not James Fox.
Excuse me, Lawrence Fox. No, it wasn't.
Okay, well, that being said, listen to this. This actually, I didn't even look at this. Now I'm looking at it. I'm like, really? Delve into the corrupt world of industrial espionage in a double bill talks with full cast audio dramas both due release in January 2023. The political thriller stars Doctor Who legend Louise Jameson as a complex 1970s tortured leader and former spy Roberta Craven. That sounds very good to me. Joining her is ambitious journalist Neil Hart, played by It's a Sin actor Murray Douglas. Who was very, very tipped as a contender for the Doctor. Yeah, I think he clearly was a contender. Seeing Shooty, it'll be crazy to tell me Amari Douglas didn't get an audition.
Well, he's kind of cast an actor with a similar
swagger.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Amari Douglas would have made a superb Doctor based on the fact that when he was on screen, you didn't look at anybody else. Whether he was speaking or not, you looked at him. He was so unusual.
It was really weird. Yes, I agree with you.
Whereas Shooty has a similar quality, but less so. You can imagine he's not as large. He's not as large than life as Amari.
Shooty is more like it's like graceful, like Fred Astaire. Like you say, how he moves is really interesting. Right, he's got a very supple way of moving, which I like a lot.
I also get the impression that Shooty is just that little bit older as an actor, and I think Amari's around 25, 26, and I think that with Shooty having just turned 30, even though he does look a lot younger, I think when you can tell in the video of him with Millie, you could actually tell that he was like a big brother kind of person to her. You could tell he was a little bit older, and you just got more of a feel for him.
Yeah,
he wasn't a performing.
The better it gets. It really is. The more you see him interacting with that video was very good because you really got a feeling of their chemistry together. Well, okay, one second. Let me keep reading this for a second, right? Because this is their problem with this is branding, 100%. In an atmospheric tale of greed, manipulation, and murder, the Altons are at the center. If anyone can be duplicated, who can be trusted? They should have branded this as an Alton audio, right? Set in the 70s, and it would have worked. And Rabbi, then they could have still had Torchwood. They could have still done the whole thing. It's just they branded it wrong. They should have gone heavy into the 70s.
In my view, you've described a unit story to me. This should be a unit box set.
Yes.
Whereas over in the unit box sets, they're doing all manner of other things that aren't really anything to do with unit.
I have no interest. No, honestly, I don't really have that much interest in Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, frankly. Yeah, like she genuinely kind of bores me as a character. Fine, here, let me read more. Louise Jameson said, Roberta Craven is a part that you get that gets your actor's juices going. Okay, she's a good actress and a smart woman, right? Brilliant. For her to say that makes me interested. She's anxious-driven, very funny, and has a lost love. That's a bit boring. Roberta is surrounded by politics and threats, and she's saving the world. It looks like she's dropping a pebble in the pond, whereas actually she's constantly in the middle of the tsunami. Fine. Then you got Amerigo says Neil comes across what he thinks is a game-changing project, which spins off into a life that doesn't expect. He's led down a spiral into a world of corruption, governance, and violence. In Roberta, okay, Neil has met somebody who is equally tenacious with an air of mystery. Okay, this sounds like a Le Carre type thriller with the Altons set in the 70s. What that like? They branded this so badly.
Yeah, I believe I agree with you completely. I think that
I would buy this. What the hell? Schmucks. I would I didn't even bother looking at it because it had the Torchwood title on it. Absolute schmucks. Terrible branding.
James Goss used to run everything Torchwood over there, as I understand, and I've got a lot of time for James Goss. Even though he stopped following me on Twitter, James, what's that about? I get the impression it's rudderless, and I also feel the same about the unit line and the several other lines. You think, why are these still going? It'd be okay to rest them for a little while. There's a reason why we haven't got 15 box sets of Dalek Empire, because they knew, the people who were involved in that then knew that they'd sort of run out of steam. Gary Russell knew that Gallifrey had run out of steam, really, that by season 4, that's the three new creatives there.
They kept doing it to death now. The Gallifrey walkouts, I gave up years ago.
Yeah, and Gary Russell doesn't even listen to them.
That being said, I wish they would announce the writing talent, because I think this is going to be excellent. This is what $75 US.
Hopefully, if they put their woke writers on this, they are leaving cash on the table. They can sell this to casuals. People would jump on this if they F it up by putting some of these wokeists on it. Wow, will they have blown a golden opportunity?
I get the feeling, although they have the script editors are Robert Valentine and what's his name? Robert Valentine, and see him a lot. What's his name? Hang on, let me see.
The promo clip is just superb, and the plot sounds interesting.
Right.
They got the right actors present. It wouldn't have been right without any of them. But I just worry about these writers.
Well, they don't tell you who it is, and they got all the names down. Right.
Georgia Cook and Sophie Illis and all those types. I mean, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I mean, we got to know a little more. I'm afraid. How do we get to the page? Here, doink. Fine, let me just look at this one. Production credits. They don't say. David Richardson. Man, tell me more. I would, if they had the writers announced, I would have signed up for this already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling myself that I will listen to all of this, but if 2 or 3 bad writers will put me off the entire thing.
Right. So this one again, illegally downloaded, haven't bothered to listen to it. If I like it and I want to like it, I'll buy it. But I'm so bored of this team. You've got to dazzle me, right? The Sullivan Cross probably wasn't bad a script, but I just Ellen Crooks just seemed amateurish for me. Sadly, Unit I couldn't be bothered. I just can't. I'm so bored with it. None of these faces are made on this cover is made to go, yes, I must buy this. Star Cops. Yeah. They recreate the 1980s bladness very well. It so misses its theme tune. Right, they replaced it with such a bland theme tune, but
I'm a massive Star Cops fan. I haven't heard any of them. That just goes to show.
I would say worth listening to will be they had a season called Mars. It was a 2-box set that was actually very, very authentic. That really, really worked. I didn't bother getting the 9th Doctor Adventures because it's one with Tanya in it. And again, I want to be clear. It's not that I hate trans people. No. I hate it when a story is dependent on me accepting their ideological or religious point of view. Like if I had a story where it was all about Jesus on the cross, I'm like, yeah, but that's a little bit uncomfortable for me, right? Don't get me wrong. Happy for anybody to have whatever beliefs they want. But like, can we have a general area where we can all believe what we want to believe, which is on Doctor Who? We were okay with that. I don't believe, and the plot point is it's a normative state for human beings to be gender and sexually fluid. I don't believe that's the case. I think it's a detrimental idea to society. I think anybody should live and let live and be whoever they want to be, right? But trying to promote what isn't doesn't make it work, right? And so that's why I'm leaving. Was it?
Well, none of at the end of the day, whether your position on these matters or mine or anybody else's, any of the numerous positions one can have on those subjects shouldn't have anything to do with Doctor Who. It shouldn't even come into the equation.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Don't give a shit.
And they made the whole thing dependent upon that, right?
And it's one thing to do that on the television, but to do this with an expanded media thing that they want you to pay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not paying
25, 40 quid for.
Right. I did that. I said that about Space 1999. I know
Story
what you think
has
about
to be
Brexit.
first.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me what you think about Brexit. As we know enough, you're boring us. This is going to be good, though. I think after the war, I am looking forward to it. But $20 though, next month they got another one which looks really good. But I'm waiting to hear this one. See if it's no good, forget it. Right, I'm out. So, but this looks great. Escape from Reality. I think this is going to be good.
Isn't Scott Hancock? Hasn't he been the driving force behind these War Master stories as well?
Yes, and he's been excellent at it. Yes, and this is a really great idea. The War Master in the realm of fiction. You're going to have, was it the Watson?
Wow.
Who plays Watson?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen a bad. Yes, it's Richard Earl. I don't think I've ever seen a bad review of this range, the War Master stuff.
Bern Gorman's in it? Who's he playing? Bern Gorman was the guy that you.
He's playing. Wow.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, look like who's in it. Nick Briggs plays Holmes and the Daleks. The Shadows in it, played by Gethin Anthony. Perseus. Richard Earl plays Dr. Watson. Pauline Eyre plays Hecate. Edward Harrison, Basil Hallwood, don't know who that is. Hobgoblin is Saffron Ingor. Anybody else I know? Medusa, Ella Smith, Sam Safford, the Devil, Dorian Gray, Alex Vohols.
Sounds fun.
And he did the Dorian Gray series. I think this is going to be one of the high spots of this range. This range has been very strong. Have you listened?
I listened to the first. I listened to the first few. Whenever that 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
and I did like it.
They've gone. Oh man, they're so expensive though. They've gone up and down in rank in quality. The first one I thought was very good. The next two were kind of like meandering. They weren't bad, especially Master of Callus, where he becomes like he lands on the planet and just turns it into a pawn in a war. It's like that he can use in a war.
You told me about that one. Yeah,
Sorry?
I've never heard that. You told me about that one before, and I haven't heard it though.
But it's skippable. It's good. As is Rage of the Time Lords. That wasn't that memorable. But Anti-Genesis, that was awesome. Where he lands into the Carlid bunker in Genesis of the Daleks. That's really good, right? That's excellent. War Master Hearts of Darkness is a good McGann one. The basic idea is, I'm kind of spoiling it a little bit, but they should have gone more into this. It's about them becoming body swapped and reenacting Apocalypse Now. Which I know, like, how better can you sell it, right?
I know. Sounds good.
Was it Killing Time? Wasn't very good. That was tortured Joe Grant and Nissa. Like that just was weird. It didn't work at all. And Self Defense with David Tennant was quite good, actually, as I recall. It was a War Master on trial by this ethereal force for being just awful. And it's just his defense, in which he pulled out one of the doctors and he pulled out the Tennant doctor.
Oh.
And it was more of a gimmick to have Tennant in it, but this one just sounds so much more together. Get it now while its price is cheap at $25, just before the price goes up. It's man, the high prices is a problem, right? It is a problem.
I mean, this year was supposed to be the year that they did soft relaunches on things, and it did seem to be working for a while.
for the
The
first 6
Doctor Who
months it
stuff.
was, but I think maybe it didn't work as well as they wanted it to work, and so they kind of started backtracking. I don't know. They tried a lot of ideas. They had Unit Brave New World, right? I have no interest, like zero beyond zero interest. Who's writing this? Yeah, I don't like. There's by Tinjida Singh. Hey, maybe you're great, right? Has he done anything else? Never heard of it, right? Yeah. Look, mate. You know, you got to give me a reason to buy it. I just like Bambera alone isn't it, right?
No,
Who else is in this?
it feels like a little. It feels like a little too late with Bambera with this.
Yeah.
I think they should have used her a lot longer ago.
The problem is, it's not a good story, right? Here, let me show you something that they did with the unit that was really good. It was one of the earliest things, not their this thing. Unit Dominion, right? $42 bloody hell!
I've heard that one.
What?
I've heard that one. I bought
Yeah,
that.
this was from 10 years ago. Excellent, right? This was doing something different and interesting with the unit. I don't even know who the unit team was with it. Alex McQueen, the other Doctor. Who was the doctor? Trying to see who unit was.
Wasn't it meant to be on an alternative universe?
Yeah, right, it was, and that all really worked. So you had a whole new unit team, right? But you could have do something different with it. Have a story.
So I remember enjoying it. That's
right.
That's about as much as I remember now after 10 years, but I do remember enjoying that.
And Jonathan Carey as a War Doctor. This whole series has knocked it out of the park. Been absolutely excellent.
Still not heard any of this. I'll have to get them.
They're all good. Have you heard him?
But you see, in my view, and I understand why the Paul McGann thing now, it's a matter of pride that people have been wanting the Paul McGann show for so long. To me, a young War Doctor series would be a lot more of a sensible option.
I agree with you.
They could cast a lot more openly with somebody who looks a little like a young John Hurt, and they could do so much in that time.
Right. Perfect casting would be the guy who I like. Who's a very good actor who played the main bad guy in Family of Blood and Human Nature.
Oh God, he'd be brilliant. Harry Lloyd,
perfect.
He'd be brilliant. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
God.
Yeah, he could totally play it. But anyway, have you actually heard him?
Jonathan Carley.
Yeah, he'll be playing.
Yes, I've heard the trailers. Yeah, it's a fantastic recreation of him.
Right, you heard it. But the stories are actually very good as well, because they don't really mess around with a wokeness or agenda, right? So this is they haven't announced anymore. I do hope they announce more, but he's got to be in this 60th anniversary thing, because it's all about the War Doctor.
I'd say so. Well, we know that David Warner's in it,
right?
And if David Warner's in it, I'd bet your life that he's in it too.
Yeah, I agree. This is the only thing I'm thinking of buying next month. Although the Torchwood thing actually sounds very good. I have to tell you, might have talked myself into it. I've already gotten pre-ordered this Kate Ullman book, and they're always so long, and I hate books on tape. But it's by Kate Ullman. It's a second Doctor novel. It's read by Michael Troughton. They have a trailer yet? They have a trailer. Let's hear the trailer.
Oh yes, please. I like what Michael's doing with this.
Yes, I thought that's been very good.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, the audio novels, The Dead Star. Polly and the Doctor walk through the deserted campus, past the brushed concrete buildings, heading for the tube station. The balmy summer evening was spiced with the smell of freshly mown lawns. Doctor, said Polly, if I ask Dr. Fields to tell me what a black hole is, she'll never stop telling me. So would you mind explaining it? Preferably in words of one syllable. The Doctor said, well, I'll try. You see, a black hole can be created when a very large star reaches the end of its lifespan and goes supernova. Now, a star is tremendously massive. Earth's sun weighs about an octillion tons. When a star's furnace goes out, there's nothing left to hold the star up against its own enormous weight. He might.
Yeah, okay. I liked it when as soon as he went into Troughton. I'm not really into books on tape. It's a lot. 360 minutes. That's a long time. That's why I'm not a fan of it.
I'm fine with the short stories, the short clips. I struggle with the books on tape. It doesn't matter the production, but that does sound really, really nice.
Yeah, three discs is your sweet spot, right? That's how long it should be.
Yes,
yeah. So Torchwood thing, had you marketed it differently as Alternate Invasion 1970, right? And had it as a completely its own thing, and not tried to do it on the Torchwood banner, which you could have easily have done. I'm just thinking you could have had the cool logos, 1970s, like very 70s feel. Feels like Callan. Feels like it could be really good. Oh man. I'm kind of mad at them about that.
They've got a foot in. I think that they're just not committing to it enough to really mark it out as something different, as something that you have to jump on. And Torchwood fans, it just all seems very wishy-washy to me, and that they want to keep the Torchwood line going. Don't really know how, and
that's exactly what it feels like, right? That's exactly what it feels like. This thing sounds like really dull. The River Song investigating some. I'm too bored to even read it.
Well, that's a range. That's a range that clearly should have been put to the sword about 2 years ago.
It's out of steam. I will probably get the Ninth Doctor's next box set. Oh, this is expensive months, mate. So so I'm getting the Ninth Doctor's thing. Stephen Noonan's next one, and Third Doctor, they haven't put a foot wrong, right? So that's an expensive month, February. But like everything else, I'm basically out of. Although not the Tom Baker ones, and I have to tell you, this does look nice. The logo, doesn't it?
Oh wow, it's so much nicer, so much nicer.
Oh, so good to sit back. Fine.
What did you think when you saw the diamond logo with the 60 years underneath it revealed the other day? Did you get a tingle? Did you get a tingle?
No, I'll tell you exactly what I thought of it. It meant the Tom Baker diamond logo is here to stay for a long time. That Shooties logo, that's here till 25, 26, 27, right? They're not going to rebrand for a while because they've done a different they've done it so that now they're doing a variation on that for the 60th anniversary, which means it's their their look, right?
It's exactly the same as if you notice with when it was season 3 of Star Trek Discovery, and they just launched Picard. They'd got that terrible animated Lower Decks. They'd got all that stuff at once. They immediately started they went back to the original Star Trek logo in yellow, that original font from the title sequence of the original series that was used on the JJ movies, because they know that font, that orientation is what generally everybody still recognizes as Star Trek. It doesn't even matter what it says. Oh, quoting the Five Doctors, it's not even what it says. It's what it means. Even if your eye just flashes across it, you immediately recognize Star Trek. And for Doctor Who, that diamond logo has exactly the same power. That's why they've gone back to it, based on exactly the same principle. And this is the thing that Star Wars has never, ever clouded the waters on this. That Star Wars logo, they may have occasionally put a trim line around it.
Star Wars logo over, and they have raped it horrendously. Every time I see that Star Wars in one line with the rainbow colors.
No, I don't like that either. It should always be on 2-2. I agree with that.
Okay, when I become Emperor of the Universe, one of the few things I'll do, and one of the many things I'll do, I will reformat Disney Plus, and I will put all of the sequel trilogy crap Disney Plus stuff in one tile, and I'll put on it gay shit Star Wars that Disney did. Right, that's what you got to press to get to it. Right, otherwise we'll just see real stuff. Mando, you can stay in the main box for now. Okay.
Sooner or later, they will annex that sequel trilogy somehow. That will become That will be in its own little bubble, just the same as the Jodie starring Doctor Who stuff. You know, they're already doing everything they can to memory hole that.
I don't think so. Why?
Eventually, I said eventually.
Yeah,
I think it'll take a while. But it will. I'm pretty sure it will happen.
Tyler Stein thinks that Joe Martin will be in it too. That would be a disaster. In this,
I can't. I don't think there'll be enough room for her. And besides, a lot of that was recorded quite a while ago, so I can't see her of being available, even if she wants. No, I think this is going to be fine. I think this is going to be safe. The most you'll get is Jonathan Carley.
That would be an absolute disaster. I'm sorry. Yeah, leave that ago. Anyway, I'm wrapping up. I'm knackered.
Thanks for having me.
Show coming up
Monday night. I'm doing the Space Book Listed, which is our general cult TV, classic TV podcast in video form live on YouTube. So we're doing that Monday night at 8:00. We're talking about the very first series of Red Dwarf.
Oh, yes. Are you talking about all different versions of it?
Just all the different versions of it.
Well, you got to do the Redux one with the new special effects.
Oh no. But we might touch a little on that. But no, it's just going to be the six.
I like the Redux one. It's not so bad.
We may mention it, but the general idea with that is that we'll just be talking about those 6 episodes, and we might touch on things like that, but it'll be like going hard and deep on the first run of Red Dwarf, because Red Dwarf's a big favorite of mine.
Do you have the Blu-rays?
No, I've heard that they're terrible, so I didn't bother buying them.
Fantastic. What's wrong with them?
Well, there was a massive quality control thing there. They had to get what is it when there's faults on them, and so people get discs replaced. They had to replace so many discs, and people have generally told me that.
Mine were absolutely fine, and the documentary on it is great. Right? They kept saying they wanted more color. Right? So they said to the BBC, "There's grey everywhere." Right? And they said, "We want color." So in the 3rd episode, there was a small box of red, they put on a table. So there, we put that in for you, a bit of color. There you go. So what they did for the 2nd season, they went to a pound store and they spent £100, and they just remember that big banana that was hanging up and all the stuff everywhere. That's just what they did. They just dressed it themselves. In
the 2nd season, they wrapped up the mini sofa in Lister's quarters in foil, didn't they? So just put a few reflective surfaces here and there, like you say. Yeah.
Right. And it just made everything better. Fine. Okay, fine. Look forward to that. I'm heading out.
Thanks
I'm going to hit the podcast button. Going to hit it again.